What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 69 of the Monday Night Wars. This is the WWF side, the 197th episode of Raw. Ratings for this Raw were at 2.3, and Nitro got a 3.8 because Raw wasn't on Monday night. It was Thursday Raw Thursday special. So after this week's loss, the scoreboard is 17 wins for the WWF, 50 wins for Nitro, and 2 draws. This is just the second Raw to beat a 2-hour show, and it took place Thursday Raw Thursday, February 13th, 1997, live from the Lowell Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts. And that Raw that lost the week with the 2.3 was brought to you by Vince McMahon, JR, and The King. We opened the show with the announcement that the WWF title by Shawn Michaels will be vacated tonight. McMahon talks about how it was supposed to face Sid. Sid will get a match next week, the night after Final Four. This is the go-home show to In Your House Final Four. To kick off the show, we got Hunter Hearst Helmsley defending the Intercontinental title against Rocky Maivia. JR says both guys aren't thinking of Final Four, they're thinking about tonight. Helmsley and Maivia, this is the first chapter in an amazing long rivalry. Rock with a side headlock off the ropes, a hip toss, and a bow by Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Rocky Maivia glared at him, and both men tie up. Helmsley with a hammer lock, then the Rock with a standing switch. Helmsley with a drop toe hold into a front face lock. Rocky goes behind him for the clean break. And then they do another lock up and a standing switch into a side headlock takeover. Fans chant Rocky sucks. First time I've heard that while going back watching these shows. Interesting. Helmsley does another curtsy to Maivia. This is the second time out of 3 that he did it in this match alone. Maivia was still green at the time and not really ready, but he still wrestled a decent chain wrestling sequence with Helmsley to begin the match. Honky Tonk Man came down halfway through the match and did commentary because it's for the Intercontinental title, I guess. Or he's still scouting. This is when Honky Tonk Man was still scouting the roster to see who he'd manage. And then that would go on for a few months, and it ended up being Billy Gunn. So, when he was Rockabilly, if people remember that. We still have that to look forward to. Armbar takedown and superplex off the top by Helmsley to the rookie, Rocky Maivia. Helmsley goes for a pedigree, but the Rock drops down and played possum as if he was done. Helmsley did a curtsy, and then Rocky Maivia with a quick small package, inside roll. King lets out a loud, "What?" as Rocky is the new Intercontinental Champion. Rock Hendricks after the match rated the match 2 stars. Doc Hendricks after the match says Rock will make his family proud, and he'll make his fans proud. The many, many fans Rocky Maivia had. The Headbangers take on Bob Holly and Aldo Montoya. Headbangers making their Raw debut. Sonny did the ring announcement for the match, and the crowd was in love with her. Aldo Montoya and Bob Holly with frequent tags, cutting off their half of the ring, taking it to Headbanger Mosh. Enziguri, Thrasher needed the hot tag, as Mosh was being worn down by Holly and Montoya. So it's Hardcore Holly and Just Incredible for any ECW fans. Also, if you look at the McMahon's voice, whenever he talked about Shawn Michaels vacating the title, he goes into a serious voice like this, very quiet. It's just so contrived. McMahon says he feels partially responsible due to the grueling schedule Michaels has that he would vacate the title later tonight. That's one of the first times you'll ever hear McMahon talk about himself in that light, as if he's talking real life, like he's the owner when he's the broadcaster. The Headbangers get the victory, and Sonny has one job here, and that's to name them the winners, and she calls them Mosh and Thrash instead of Mosh and Thrasher. I mean, it's a small mistake, but at the same time, it's the only job she had to do, was to say the winners, Mosh and Thrasher. So she screwed up her only line. It was just interesting. I rated the tag match 1.5 stars. HBK vacates the title and loses his smile. Shawn Michaels comes out with an interview in the ring with Vince. Gorilla Monsoon's on one side, Vince on the other. McMahon says he's facing a knee operation. Fans chanted, "We want Sid," because HBK was supposed to take on Sid this night. HBK says he just wants the crowd to have a good time, no matter what, whether you loved him or hated him. No matter, he just said if you want paid to take it to see the WWF, she just wanted to perform at the top level, and if he can't perform at the top level, he doesn't want to be here. That's what Shawn said. So if people want to make fun of him because he's an emotional guy, they can, but one of the things he's lost has been his smile, and he needs to go home and find it. JR calls this completely out of the blue and unexpected, as fans get choked up, and Shawn gets choked up, and McMahon gets choked up, gives him a hug. Bret Hart gets screwed in this scenario by not getting his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania to give him the title belt back, but Shawn vacates the title because he has an injury. So that's how it is, and we're moving on. The Undertaker took on Savio Vega. The Undertaker with a big boot and a leg drop. The Undertaker with an arm wringer and another boot to the face. Vega with the Nation. He's better as a heel, in my opinion. Comes back with some choke holds to the dead man. Chokes him on the middle rope, the bottom rope, in the middle of the ring. The Undertaker in the corner collapses backwards, and he collided with Vega. And the Nation can't believe it. A trapezius hold by Vega as he rakes the eyes of the Undertaker. Fans chant rest in peace. They promote the Final Four, where Sunday there will be a new WWF champion between Taker, Vader, Bret, and Austin. Taker defeats Savio in the end. Comes off with the old school and then a choke slam. Gets the job done. The Nation of Domination attacked the Undertaker after the match, but then Ahmed Johnson came out and cleared the ring. And the Undertaker and Ahmed worked on the Nation, and they cleared them all out of the ring, and they stood tall. Rated the match a star and 3/4. I think they were planning for WrestleMania before the Bret Michaels plans fell apart. I think they were planning to make Taker and Ahmed in against the Nation. And it ended up being Ahmed and LOD versus the Nation at the WrestleMania. But I don't believe, because Taker, I believe, was taking with Ahmed a lot. I believe that was the original plan. But then, of course, everything got turned around when HBK vacated the title. Changed the plans for Sid, changed the plans for Taker, changed the plans for everyone. Austin, Bret. Austin versus Sid. Stone Cold music hits and comes out with his don't give a fuck attitude. Austin just owns the ring during his entrance. There's at least six or seven different signs that were shown about Austin. So there's not too many signs in the crowd, but if there was a sign, it was about Austin. Or, the odd Shawn Michaels sign, maybe somebody else, maybe a Sid sign, but Austin ruled the signs. His popularity had different peaks. His 316 speech was a peak. His Survivor Series match with Bret was a peak. His Rumble win was a peak. His neck injury at SummerSlam was a peak. The Mike Tyson thing was a peak. The rivalry with Vince was another peak. I go over that because there's different lengths to his popularity as it just grew over with time. The WrestleMania 13 match I skipped. That's obviously one of the biggest peaks. That's the biggest peak there is for Austin's popularity, arguably, because he's had so many. But his top peak was when he feuded with The Rock. That's his peak level of popularity. But there's just so many different ones, and it's interesting to rewatch them. Sid with a big boot to the head of Austin. Bret comes in, and Austin won by DQ after the Hitman attacked him. This match wasn't much to talk about. Sid and Austin had awkward chemistry in the ring. Farouk and Crush versus Bulldog and Owen for the tag titles. Owen getting the better of Crush with his athleticism. Owen and Bulldog worked great together, even though they were dysfunctional at the time in the storyline. Last week, Owen's knee went out on him, and this week it'd be the same thing. His knee went out on him, and the Aid Nation won by countout. And Owen's knee was hurt. I'm not sure if that was kayfabe. Of course it was kayfabe. I'm not sure if that was the plan for Owen to keep the titles, or if that was the Owens' plan to just not get, or if it was a legit kayfabe injury. Not sure which one, because last week it wasn't. Last week it was a part of the plan to keep the titles against Furnace and LaFon. 2.5 stars for that match. So second straight week with a pretty good Owen Bulldog match. Bret Hart took on Vader in the main event. Undertaker came out to watch. Austin came out to battle Bret, but then Bret came back in the ring with Vader to start the match officially. In the end, Vader missed a Vader salt off the top, and Bret Hart, who had a Vader in the sharpshooter earlier in the match, pinned him and won the match, so I gave it a star and 3/4. Austin is pissed off from the top bare shelf. There's 2 bowls in this auditorium. Austin was trying to get off the top bolt into the bottom bolt to fight Bret. So we have a lot of animosity between Vader, Bret, Austin, and Taker, which is what they want. This is the go-home show to Final Four. I rated the show a 5 out of 10 because HBK I rated that match between Bret and Vader a star and 3/4. But I rated this show a 5 out of 10 because HBK loses his smile. While not entertaining, it was still significant. Austin and Sid was awkward. Bret and Vader didn't get enough time. Second straight gold Bulldog and Owen match for the second straight week that was good. Rock winning the Intercontinental title was significant. His first title win. So, yeah, 5 out of 10 for Thursday Raw Thursday. We'll see you next week on the next Raw. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.